Hello, beloved. Welcome today to our broadcast. You are watching us live on TikTok. This video will be uploaded later into our YouTube channel, Nana Kwesi Apia. So if you miss this live, you can watch the video later on our YouTube channel. You just search Nana Kwesi Apia. Nana Kwesi Apia. Nana Kwesi is Kwesi Kwasi Apia. On YouTube, you can get a recorded version of this video on YouTube. Today, we are going to continue the series. We've already started a part one on my YouTube channel, so if you go to my YouTube channel, you can get it. The part one is we are discussing inner engineering, and we have explained the inner engineering in our part one on the YouTube channel. You can watch. This is the part two of the inner engineering. And today, what we are going to talk about is the existence of God, a dialogue. We title it The Existence of God, the Dialogue. Why are we saying that? In inner engineering, as I explained last week in a summary of what I did in my last video, part one, um, to summarize this, I spoke about the Bible proving inner engineering from the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, 1 to 3, where the Bible proved the existence, genesis of inner engineering. And in the part 1, we got to know that everything for us to realize the power of man is within us. But the Bible presented it as a son of man or the son of God or something like that. So you watch the part 1, you get everything. But to summarize everything, all that we said in part 1 is we first acknowledge the fact that the Bible is a good book that acknowledges inner engineering. And we talked about inner engineering, that is the process of going deeper into ourselves to realize our original power, our original element that can help us to do work faster, easier, greater things than what we knew. And we saw in the Bible that it talks about the olden days where God spoke to his people through prophets, and we said these olden days can be attributed to the things you've heard already from your mother, from your father, or from any of your church member or society, telling you this is God, this is this without explanation. That is like the words of prophet. But when you go deeper into ourselves, in the thought, that is the brain, that is the master, the majesty high. So in the brain, in our thought, there is this ability to meditate upon the words that spoken to us for us to get the understanding. So that is why we spoke about. So you go to my YouTube channel, Nana Kwesi Apia, you can find inner engineering part 1, the Genesis. You can watch the full video there. So today we are going to talk about the part 2, which is the existence of God, the dialogue. Before we begin, let's make the short prayer before we continue. We begin this. Today, the topic I'm going to talk about is very delicate and quite controversial to the contemporary world, and I'm in full regalia because talking about topic like this, you have to be in full regalia, full spiritual movement and spiritual process, so that we can stand up some energy. So before let's pray. Let's say this prayer in the name of the Lord Almighty. In the name of the omnipotent, omni-high, in the name of the I am, I that I am, in the name of the great, most high, the Lord, and God is Zion. And by the power of the Master Yeshua ben Joseph, I command the removal of every bad energies from this place at this moment. I command the removal of every negative energy towards man from this place, from this moment. I call blessings from the center of the Most High, from the light of the head of the Most High, to bless all humanity and everybody listening and watching this video. And I call life unto humanity and things of the world. I send blessings unto the earth. May Mother Earth receive the blessings of the Most High, and may Mother Earth receive a great blessing to give us more food and provide for us the things needed for the host to survive. God Almighty deliver us from evil and grant us peace in our days and protect us from all anxiety as we journey towards the kingdom. For this we ask, we believe it is done. Thank you, Father, for listening. I know you hear and care for me always in all my ways. Amen. Thank you. Amen. Let's go on. So we are beginning our message. As I said, today part two is existence of God. We are not going to prove. This is not about proving the existence of God. No. This is about why the need for existence of God. The Bible's contribution, scholars' contribution, and why there is a need of a God. Why should there be an existence of a God? This is what we're going to talk about. The reason why someone will ask, this is inner engineer, why this? In the process of inner engineering, sometimes we jump the steps. People think inner engineering, when you talk about inner engineering, ability to meditate, ability to assume higher position, ability to manifest in the highest level. It is part of it. But that is a higher stage. Before one can get to that stage we are talking about, there are some things you need to know. So there are basic knowledge a person needs to know. Because one thing in inner engineering is every level you attain, every level you attain in inner engineering deserves a level of knowledge, a level of understanding, and a level of power. So you don't just get up or wake up and say that I just want to be more powerful. I want to be a master. I want to be a lord without knowing the fundamentals that can grow you to get to that level. And everybody or every individual or a master or a student who is engineered or who has reached a new manifestation, who is awakened, has some qualities. The quality of understanding, acceptance, dialoguing, the qualities of services, the qualities of sacrifice, the qualities of suffering. Before you get all these things, there are some knowledge you should know. There are some understanding you should get. You cannot just get up and just attain that level. Most people just think they are weakened and they just pick and choose from different platforms. They only look for the availability and convenience, and they think for themselves that they are at a higher level. They start to practice things they don't even understand. At the end of the day, it will get to a point that those people or that person who start that way will get to a level that things may not work. That's where you begin to seek for external powers, other things not necessary. You begin to become selfish, trying to solicit money from people, proving yourself to be powerful. But that is not, sorry, my voice is low, sorry. That is not how it's supposed to be. I hope the voice is okay. That's not how it's supposed to be. Inner engineering, when Thank you. Thank you, Justice. Inner engineering is sort of, as the person reaches this level of higher or manifestation, you should be able to um bring out or release some qualities that will help you to attain every level without being selfish. That is why it is necessary that we start from teachings like the existence of God, the genesis of inner engineering, all these things. So if I am beginning that way, don't get bored. Don't think like I am slowing you down. No, I want to develop you to a level that when you get to any manifestation, you will know that you have passed through the right channel. So that is the process. So just get the understanding and stay with me. When you talk about the existence of God, all that we are talking about is the school of thought, the ideology, the concept, the teachings, or the conversation that there is a God somewhere. That is it. Some people think there's no need to rely on a God. Some people think there is a need to rely on God. Some people think the God we are talking about is within you. Some people think the God is outside you. But sometimes we tend to fight among ourselves by proving the existence of God. Well, one thing I can assure you is anybody who want to grow in manifestation, attaining higher levels of inner engineering, the first thing you should understand is the existence of God is a dialogue. It should be done in dialoguing. Because before we came to a level to conclude that there is God, there were lots that has happened, or there a lot happened before humanity came to level that there is God. If we begin to make it looks like I want to be proven right than the other person, at the end of the day, we will not achieve anything than fighting among ourselves. So you all see that the Bible speaks about it, say that when anyone sin, don't think God has tempted you, or when you are in trouble, don't think God has tempted you. And some people just also come and say, okay, if there is God, why is Israel and Palestinians are fighting and the God is not saving them, the God of Israel? When you begin to talk like this, it means your level of growth in manifestation is still low, because it is not God who is causing us to fight. It is we human beings who have deviated from foundation of creation, that is dialoguing, understanding. Anytime a person deviate from understanding one another, anytime a person decide to not to embrace dialogue but decide to prove himself right over the other person, the next thing that comes out is conflict. That is why all these things are happening. I will take you to the existence of God. Why all this thinking? Recently, we had discussions and there are a lot of conversation that says that, oh, there is no God because my mom gave birth to me. Um, he buys for me, or God is nowhere. It is within you, man. You have to do your own thing. Yeah, it's good. This conversation we are having of late or recently, all this thing about there is no God, my mom or whatever is God. It has been done long time. So when you talk about the proving of existence of God, if you are coming out with a new ideology to talk about what we are talking about or to solve a problem, you should know that the ideology or the research you are bringing out is not something we have solved already. Do you get it? If you are coming out with solution, it should be something that is built upon what is already there, but we have never reached there. But if now we tend to talk about the existence of God and we channel it like it is man, my mom born, gave birth to me, blah 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 blah, so there is no God. That thing has already been solved long time, so it's not a new thing to accept now. The existence of God we are all talking about, it came like this. There was a dialogue, like we didn't start by finding the existence of God. The whole dialogue started by finding our existence, how we came. So the dialogue was not even God was not in the picture. Humanity decided to ask himself why all these things came about. So everybody was trying to prove a point. And the world has gone through series of evolution and research. Said that today what we have is as a result of what had already been discussed and researched, and this is the product we are having. So at first, science was not too strong. It was philosophy and ethics. And out of philosophy and ethics, that's where the religion came about. Science was there, but not as strong as philosophy and ethics. So if you look at the provings of Charles Darwin and Aristotle, Karl Marx, Max Weber, you look at the provings of Socrates, Plato, um, all these masters, Saint Augustine, Saint Aquinas, and all, you realize that even those who were proving things scientifically were doing it under philosophical ethics. So you couldn't have proven anything without considering the philosophy of life. And what is philosophy? Philosophy just means love of wisdom. The philos is philos and sophia. The philo is love and sophia is wisdom. So love of wisdom. So when you say someone is a philosopher, all that you're trying to say the person is a lover of wisdom. So in the olden days, people seek wisdom before they think of laboratory um experiment. So whatever man is bringing out, we put it under the lens of wisdom and ethics. Ethics what? Acceptable um life or acceptable way of living within a society or a community. So the ethics of life may differ between countries. So it came like, let's find our existence. Where do we come from? And we realized that many things are there. Like we see sky, we see the earth, we see sea, we see fishes, we see trees, we see all these things. We saw that these things are providers of our food. We eat from fish. The trees give us life because the more trees are being cut, the more we destroy the system, the environment. We eat from these farm animals. So we saw that these things are in existence because of us. If they are not there, we will not survive. So definitely these things were made before us. Because if we'd have been here without trees, without animals, without fish, even we couldn't have survived one day. Because without these things, we can't survive. So then, by wisdom, it's still in philosophy. This is not laboratory proven. Philosophical, by wisdom, we can say that all these things were in existence before us. But before humanity came to agreement to accept this common thing I'm talking about, like all these things existed between us. There were dialogues among different views. And that is a passage in Genesis chapter 1. So in Genesis chapter 1, when you look at the creation story, when you read Genesis chapter 1, you could see that the creation story talks about how the narrator presumed the world was created. And from the narrator's point of view, series of deformity were there until things were put into right shape. So he started like the heaven and earth was created, but the earth was without form. When you say the earth was without form, what the narrator was trying to say is we didn't just agree that there is an earth. The argument about discussing an earth was formless, was void, was between different views. Some will say A, some will say B, some will say C. But because they were trying to find common goal, what we are trying to find is why we are here, not who is powerful. So they did not fight among themselves, proving who is powerful, but accepted all views. So at the state of formless, there came a state of form when we didn't know which one to take. By dialoguing, we were able to come to conclusion that because of A, B, C, D, this is what happened. So if you follow the creation story, you could read that the narrator made mention of there was darkness and there came light. And when there was darkness and light came, the creator, according to to Genesis chapter 1, didn't say that now I have light, so darkness is not important. The creator saw, according to Genesis chapter 1, he said, when he saw light, he made the light day and he made the darkness night. So, per two ideologies which are different, when man began to understand the uses of all these ideologies, he was able to create day and night. If by getting light, which helped man to see everything, push man to say there's no need of darkness, what will man do at night? And he continued. They created trees. There was this. There was this. Tree comes before birds follow. If trees are not important, where would the birds stay? If we say today we have become human beings, so trees are not important, where are we going to take our photosynthesis, the oxygen? If we say today I am a human being, I've seen I'm a human being, so goat is not important. Where am I going to get my protein to survive? So philosophically, the masters of knowledge decided that let's talk about things, let's dialogue. Our common goal is to find our existence. And then it got to a point that we have proven the existence of all these creatures. Now it is us. How did we come here? And this has been the question of many. The reason why we are not fighting about how trees came is that we are not trees, so we are able to determine how trees came. The reason why we are here became a huge argument and is now a huge argument is that before we decided to talk about how we came, we were already here. Before man began to talk about how he came here, he was already here. So it became very difficult to find out how he came. Therefore, man used wisdom to consider the things around him. If you are proving about how man came, I have come. Tomorrow I've seen Kwesi coming. How did Kwesi come? Kwesi came through the mother. After the father and mother met, had sex, the mother got pregnant and gave birth to Kwesi. Kwesi's existence is from the mother. That was proven. That was vivid. Kwesi is not the entire humanity. Kwesi is just a person. We are proving the existence of God. That was the dialogue. We are not proving the existence of Kwesi. We are proving the existence of man. Kwesi is not the entire man. So we cannot just say Kwesi came from his mother. Therefore, the cause or the creator of Kwesi is the mother. Or we can say the creator of Kwesi is the mother. But we cannot entirely say that the creator of all humanity is our mothers. So the masters continue the discussion. Kwesi's mother also came through somebody. Then Kwesi's grandmother. So we have solved the question of making our mothers our God. So if someone come here to tell you that there is no God, my mother is my God, that is fallible because it has already been proven wrong that your mother, and I will come to the point why God. When we say God, let me chip in this before I continue. The name God, as we talk about, is not like we are creating a worship being. No. The dialogue is not creating a being to worship. That is the problem. Now, the dialogue has changed from creating existence of life. From the dialogue has changed from creating existence of life to creating an existence of a worship being. That is where we are having a problem. The old dialogue was not about creating whom to worship, but creating who made us. If that is our case, then Kwesi's mother cannot be the entire creator of humanity because Kwesi's mother was also born by Kwesi's grandmother. We go to Kwesi's grandmother, and grandmother was born by Kwesi's great great grandmother. So if we tone that lie philosophically, we realize that every humanity or every person, a Homo sapiens, comes from another Homo sapiens. Therefore, we cannot continue to be calculating who gave birth to this, who gave birth to this, who gave birth to this, who gave birth to this. In science and technology, there is a course called machine learning. In machine learning, when you are proving or predicting a results using data to predict future results, you are not supposed to go through 100% prediction, but you can test about 40% of your variables against your target, or you can test 80%. If 80% proves you right, you can conclude that you are sure about 90% that this is what is going to happen. That is machine learning. That is science. And it was done in philosophy. That if you are able to prove that Mother A was born by Mother B was born by Mother C, it means that every Homo sapiens was born by the Homo sapiens. Every human being was born by a human being. We can't continue to be saying that to trace to that level. Therefore, let's find out more views. Then people began to, we decided, no, the system decided to give diversity of views. Now, it's not about one common goal. We have one common goal, proving our existence, who made us. But let's give it a thought to everybody who has an idea to prove. So I'm going to show you some of the provings from some of the early fathers, which we still hold in high esteem. Thomas Aquinas is a scholar in Roman theology, and he's even a saint in the Catholic. Thomas Aquinas made a proving that he talked about his side of the existence of God, and he said Thomas believes that all natural reason demonstratively prove God's existence. All natural reasoning. So we still come back to philosophy. You get it? What are the natural reasoning? As I told you, discussion of who made this. We saw that Kwesi's mother gave birth to Kwesi. Kwesi's grandmother gave birth to Kwesi's mother. These are part of natural reasons. This is not lab. This is philosophical. By nature, we have been proving that. So Thomas said, all natural reasons demonstratively prove a God existence. How is he saying that? So went further to say that. He said, in everything in the changeable world around us. So we talk about changeable worlds. What changeable world? My mother gave birth to me. I have given birth to my kids. This is a changeable world. It is not as my mother was. So we keep on changing, evolution. So he said, in this changeable world, there is a first cause or a prime mover. That is how Thomas called the person who made the world. He called him a cause, a prime mover, in virtue of which all other things have their existence, their motion, their qualities, and direction. So, according to Thomas Aquinas, to him, everything in this changeable world is caused by something. Something caused something. This thing science even supports. Every study of natural life or humanity supports this. Your mother calls you, your grandmother calls your mother, your great grandmother calls your grandmother. This. Something calls something before things can change. We have been able to talk about those things we can see, the natural reasoning that A cause B, B cause C. If that is the case, there should be one thing that causes everything. When you say that thing that causes everything, we are not saying that thing just push everything. When Thomas says that cause everything, is there should be one thing that cause the first thing that cause us. In motion, in everything, there should be something that cause it. And to Thomas, he called the maker of man and every changeable thing in this universe. He called it the uncaused causer, the unmoved mover. That's the name Thomas Aquinas gave to the one who made the world. The uncaused causer, the unmoved mover. Meaning the thing which nothing causes it, but it causes everything. The thing which nothing moves it, but it moves everything. There is one father of philosophy too who also talked about the existence of God, and his name is Saint Augustine. He is also a bishop of the church, a father of the church. Augustine was also a scholar, a philosopher who has studied a lot. He reads a lot, he knows a lot. He also joined the discussion. And from Augustine, he also demonstrated that an eternal, immutable being does exist above our intellect. And that either is being and that either this being is God, or if some being is superior, this later is God. In any case, once he has shown that this being superior to anything that exists, he will show that God exists. So to Thomas, for him, Aquinas was talking about the movement or changeable world, but Thomas also took a line of eternal world. Definitely, if we are not eternal, there should be something which is eternal, immutable being. Similar to what Aquinas was saying, when he says something is immutable, the thing doesn't move. So he said, an eternal, something which doesn't die, something which doesn't fade like us, something which doesn't move like us, do exist. There is something which is above our knowledge and intellect. That is Thomas. Because philosophers and humanity began to think, apply knowledge, apply all intellect, but still there was something they couldn't fathom. So to Thomas, if we have been able, with all the knowledge and the studies and all the experiences we have, if there's something we cannot comprehend, then it means there is something above this natural intellect. And to Thomas, he said that being can either be the one we should call God. So the name God, now we are going to talk about the name God. The name God simply is from Latin word Deus. Deus. Deus can be written in English as a deity. When we say Deus or deity, all that the name Deus we are talking about is supernatural element, supernatural power, an existence of a natural power, existence of eternal power, something greater than what we can think of. So when we say God, we are not talking about a person. We are not talking about, we don't know his form. All that we know is he is the cause of everything. And the name that can fit him was written like Deus. Something greater, superior, bigger. So if I tell you, do you believe there is something bigger than humanity exists? And you say, oh yeah, I believe. Then you believe in God. So the God factor is not like we are presenting a being of worship. It is a being of our existence. And it is not a human being. It is something we cannot talk about his form, whether he is a male, a female, he has eyes, he has nose, he has this. But what we can talk about is with all the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the experience of these fathers, there was something they couldn't understand. Even the line of where we came from, they couldn't prove it. Then there is a being who calls all these things, and the name that fits that being is God, meaning the greatest of all greatest. So the proving of Thomas Aquinas and Saint Augustine is the same thing science talked about as a Big Bang theory. So if you have also read Big Bang theory, we are not going to talk about it today because of our time. I leave it to you to go and read the Big Bang theory. You know, there's a movie about that you can even watch, an American movie about it, I think on Netflix also. So the Big Bang theory is also scientific way of proving the same thing the philosophers has made. To Thomas, he called it on cause causa. or mover. And to the big bang theory, science also proved that there is like something like an element of blast, and out of it, everything came to be. What science was trying to say is we cannot put any laboratory experiment into this, but what we can say is there is a source of life, there is a source of creation. But science also uses words based on the field of studies. So if you come and tell me I'm a scientist, I don't believe in God, but you believe in Big Bang Theory, hey, what are you trying to tell me? You believe in God. But the problem now we are having is the dialogue has changed from existence of man to existence of a pillar of worship. That is where the problem comes from. So that is it. So we need to dialogue about this life. If you want to grow in inner engineering, you should understand how all these things came. And you should understand that the ideologies of my brother or my sister shouldn't be thrown into gutter. The fact that somebody don't believe or don't side with me doesn't mean that person is evil. The fact that somebody is saying something otherwise doesn't mean the person is a sinner or something we call. But in all this, you shouldn't also condemn vividly the belief system of somebody because you think you have found the better one. That is not the dialogue the early fathers made. The early fathers made a dialogue saying that they are going to, they are having a common goal. Bring your ideas. Let's find who made us. Why all these things? And it was necessary because if you don't understand the world around you, you can never be successful. So, in order to be successful, you have to understand the world around you. So, you should know how you came so that as you are living, you live accordingly. So, that is it. So, when you look at the creation story, there is a dialogue. And the creation story is written more or less because this is an extraction from the original text being used to write Bible. You come and talk about all these things as you are going to. So the creation story is sort of presented to favor some belief system or doctrinal system. So if you are reading the creation story from chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1, you may think that there was one person doing work. There was a human being, and he said, and he said, and he said. But if you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, the narrator came to mention, and he said, let us create man in our own image and likeness. So, in way of wisdom, knowledge, and intelligence and understanding will tell you that per Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, the thing or the creation was not done by just a person. There were or group of persons, beings, intellectuals, knowledge, discussing. Because if these people or this knowledge were not part of creation, per Genesis chapter 1:26, the writer couldn't have written, now let us. It means that from 1, 2, 3, these people has been part of the creation. This knowledge has been part of the creation. Now they have gotten to a level that they want to create a being like themselves. They've gotten to the latter part of what they want to do. So let's all come together to talk about it. And that is the dialogue of our existence. Everybody was allowed to bring his ideas. At first, we just saw it like, oh, trees are like this. So it became like there was one spokesperson who was just bringing out. But when you go to the latter part, where we are talking about humanity, it became so bigger because the problem was that we started talking about our existence whilst we are already here. And as long as you are here, it will be difficult to find out how you came since you didn't know. So it became different. It was necessary to seek knowledge from different sectors to talk about the existence of man. And that came about the existence of God. So when you say God, we are not talking of an object of worship. The dialogue was about the existence of our being, how we came. So as long as you believe scientific theory of Big Bang theory, you believe in God. Because the scientific theory is the same as Thomas Aquinas' theory of existence of God. It's the same as St. Thomas' theory, St. Augustine's theory about the existence of God. The name God was chosen to represent a higher great element, great being, great knowledge. You can use God to represent a higher intellect, a higher being, a higher power. All that we are trying to say is all our qualities we are having, there is another quality which is very higher than that. So we were not talking about another person like us. Anytime we fix God into the state of man, we still have somebody to talk about who made that person. So if we go to the level of bringing God to be like a man, then there should be another argument to talk about who made that man we call God. So at the point where we reach an existence of God, we have no man to talk about. Therefore, he is not a man. So different sectors, societies, theories, studies can use different name to call him. That is why when you come to our Akan, the Asante call it Ochedi Ampon. Why Ochedi Ampon? In the Ashanti, we like to rely on something. That's why we love. The Akans love to rely on something. So in the Akan concept, if you prove yourself to be loyal, they like you. They like a loyal king, loyal friend, loyal wife, loyal husband, loyal teacher, loyal student. So the Akans always want someone they can rely on. And that is the true word of Ochene. And when I say Mpong, Mpong is also a proverbial language. That means that you don't fall. So in a can concept, they want someone they can rely on without failing them. And they feel like that higher being is somebody who can never disappoint you. So if you go to church and you call God that, he will never disappoint you. If you sing a song, God who never fails, God who never fails, it means you are saying Ochedi Ampon, Ochedi Ampon, Ochedi Ampon, Ochedi Ampon. So if we come back to tell the one pouring libation that Ochedi Ampon is idol worship, and you go to church and you sing God who never fails, you are also worshiping idol. It's just a name. Let's get the ideology, the concept, the reason behind what we were doing that. I hope you are with me. So that is a dialogue about the existence of God, not an object of worship, but element of our being. So the question is, why then we are ending with this question? Then where from this object of worship then? That one is just a contemporary thing. Before the object making a god of object of worship, the world has finished all this proving of existence of a being. It is the concept of the Jewish That is the Israelites. Per writing their history, also saw that they have someone who also helped their fathers. And it is a culture. I just want to give a highlight of it. We find a day to talk fully about that too. Object of worship as God. It was just a culture thing they were doing. Somebody who has helped our forefathers, and we cannot disappoint him. So we pay homage to the person. So the Israelites don't call that thing God. No. When you look at the name of that thing, you can never translate it to be God. It's just a wrong interpretation we do. Nyame eye kasa. Or the tree kasa no. When you come to the Akan dialect, when you say nyame, tree kasa, the Akan language, one word can represent different meaning. You get it? So Mapong can be I've closed from work. Mapong ejuma can be I've closed from work. Sabi Obana Pong also means miscarriage, but it's the same word Mapong. So if I meet Mapong in the Bible and what I know is close from work, and I think every Mapong means close from work, yeah, I've made a mistake. So the fact say Yahweh means Yame doesn't mean Yahweh means God. I said we come and talk about how this object of worship came. But I'm giving you a highlight. So the existence of man who created everything is different from the existence of an object of worship. That's what I want you to know. The proving of the existence of the creator who became God is different from the existence of that proving of an element of worship. If you don't get it right, you will insult people wrongly. You will come and blaspheming a lot. You will come and speak to the creator. You will come and speak to that knowledge against it. Whilst maybe you are talking about the object of worship. So you have to know the difference. The greater intellect, the higher intellect, the higher element, whatever you call it, whether energy by science, God by Thomas Aquinas or St. Augustine, Big Man theory by technology, that energy or that knowledge, that intellect was that which was proven to be the cause of everything. But that element of worship is different from that thing. And I've told you our next series we'll be talking about who that element of worship is so that you will know the difference when you are talking about it, so that you will know how to approach that element of worship and how to approach that element of creator. The creator is not the point or that thing of element of worship, but that element of worshiping is also very necessary and is very powerful. When you talk about that element too, you understand. But we have mixed the dialogue, we have mixed the conversation, we have we have sought little knowledge, or we don't even have it at all. And the scripture says, lack of knowledge, my people perish. So we are perishing left, right, up and down, trying to combine things, mixing things, interchanging knowledge, talking anyhow. And we come out thinking that we have the knowledge. If we continue like this, we are creating a destructive world because a time is coming. If you continue to make arguments about who is right, who is worshiping the correct God, God, there is no God, there is God, there is this, science is better than knowledge, philosophy. Now, the painful thing is when you further into scientific knowledge, into artificial intelligence and machine learning, they will tell you that philosophy and ethics are now history. So the world is going to a point that we think philosophy and ethics are now history. To now, machines are the current. And if you want to grow in inner engineering, you need to understand all these things. You don't just follow the crowd and make philosophy and ethics just history. Because we have made philosophy and ethics a more of history than necessary, everybody wants to be the most powerful person. And because of that, we feel like I can only be powerful if I intimidate my brother. I can only be powerful if I destroy my next neighbor. I can only be powerful if I compete. And because of this competition, this thing, by losing the fundamental rule, that's why causing the civil wars, the wars everywhere, countries over countries, marriages, families, friends, because everybody wants to be powerful than the other person. And we continue to fight every day until we understand the fundamental principles that the existence of us that brought about the name God wasn't an object of becoming powerful or a worship, but the Yahweh or the Israelites' act of worship or object of worship is different from the proving of who made us. That is why the Israelites, they don't call him the creator. They call Yahweh the God of our fathers. I've given you a clue. Thank you for staying with us. I still remain Anakwesi Apia. This is a very long talk. I know. A very long talk. I know. But it's necessary for us to watch. If you can watch everything, fine. Great. It's a knowledge. So don't get tired seeking it. As I said, this particular video or this particular recording was done live on TikTok, and a recorded version will be on our YouTube channel, Nana Kwesi Apia, from tomorrow. It's already even 12. So from the during the day, you visit Nana Kwesi Apia YouTube as Nana Kwesi Apia. NANAKWASIAPPIAH. NANAKWASIAPPIAH. Nana Kwesi Apia on YouTube, and you subscribe to the channel, and you can watch the recorded version of this particular video there. Thank you for staying with us. I still remain your most worthy servant of the Most High, Magister de Terra. You can call me Nana Kwesi Apia. Shalom, take care. Let's make the world beautiful. I love you. God loves you.